Hello, hi, I'm Lauren, a beginning artist getting into all this creative stuff just a little bit later in life. Today I'm going to be taking a look at this Speedball Block Printing Kit and giving my first impressions as someone who has never tried block printing before. So I picked this beauty up because what I would probably blame most of my purchases on have been seeing block prints online, people making beautiful work, and of course I'm like, I would like to try that as long as it doesn't cost a crazy amount of money. So this kit in Canadian dollars ended up being $26, I believe, and it includes 7 pieces, basically enough stuff to sort of get started and try it and see if I like it, which is the point. So let's take a look inside this box. This is apparently a lino handle, and the reviews told me don't think that they don't include the little cutters. They are inside. So inside here there are 3 cutters, apparently a small V, a large V, and a large U-gouge. There are those 3 cutters, and they live inside the handle, which is convenient. It's nice. It comes with 37 milliliters of block printing ink by Speedball, which this is a water soluble ink, which is what I probably would prefer to start with anyway. I've not actually used any non-water soluble materials yet in my little art journey. Then there is a brayer. This is apparently a 4-inch soft rubber pop-in brayer, so it would be able to pop this in and out. Oh yeah, that pops in and out, so that makes it a little easier to wash. Then there is a 4x5-inch lino block. This is called a Speedy Carve block. Reads effortless carving. Sculpture sans effort. Sounds good to me. Professional results. Well, we will see. And specifically, this is for water soluble, and oil-based inks. So you can use either of those on there. And then there are some instructions to use. The instructions on how to do this are only this long. Luckily, YouTube exists, and obviously, I've watched a million videos about this already, so feel like I kind of know what I'm supposed to do. It's probably not going to go very well because it's my first time. This is maybe not a lot of enough instructions for someone who's, maybe they're just assuming YouTube at this point. So carve away the areas you do not want to be printed. Water-soluble inks work best. Always clean your block with soap and water when finished printing. All right. Use soap and water on this to clean it. Sounds good. So I wasn't sure what I wanted to print as my first image. I'm currently in the middle of Inktober, and the image that I thought I might want to try was, I was quite happy with this flower, but seeing the size of this block, I had a feeling we'd be a little bit short. I mean, I could go this way, maybe. Okay, we have a plan. My first lino cut that I'm going to try is of this flower that I sketched in Inktober. It's actually from the reference image that I used as a picture of a flower in the garden that my parents have. I'm going to make a tracing of this image to transfer. Let's get a pencil. Pencil, where's a pencil? You've got to have a pencil. We've got a pencil. All right, looking good. I saw one person who had an excellent suggestion, because when you print on the lino block, you actually get the mirror image. What you do to make sure that you're printing like the right way is on this side, I can write the word sketch. And then on this side, I can write this word block, meaning when this side is like looking upwards, this is what the sketch looks like, versus when this is looking upwards, this is what should the block should look like in order to print this image. I rarely use tracing paper, so I'm not super used to how to do this, but my understanding is if we add, I'm going to add a little bit more graphite. So this is a 2B pencil, a little bit softer, just so that there's enough graphite to transfer. So this is the image that I would like to go on the block. There we go. I'm practically already smushing it too hard. Is that already transferring it? Transfers my fingerprints. All right, we're already learning. We're already learning. Let's trace this again. Here we have it. So everyone that I've seen do this uses a Sharpie. I do not have a Sharpie, but I do have a Micron that's nearing the end of its life. So if this isn't good for it, and that's why they're not using it, it's okay. The Sharpie has seen better days. I'm going to go in and trace it again. The hardest part about this is going to be to remember to cut away the white and to leave the black. Because anything that is left will be printed in the black, and anything that is cut away will be white. Let's see if I can figure out how to put one of these cutters on. I think we're gonna start small. Start small, hopefully we'll be making less mistakes. So everybody else, back in the tub. It's a very convenient place to keep them, I like that. So if I loosen this, the end with the writing, there seems to be a opening that is in the same size. Yeah, there we go. And then screw it back on to fasten. Okay, that was much easier than I thought it would be. One of the biggest pieces of instructions is to always cut away from yourself, because this is very sharp. Obviously, it is a knife. So always cutting away from yourself. And this feels pretty sticky because compared to other lino, this is very sticky. It's basically, this feels like an eraser. Like it looks like an eraser and kind of feels like an eraser. I do have some point in decorating. I bought a rug stop from IKEA that I just never used. So I'm actually going to cut a piece of this to see if that helps it stay a little stickier so that I don't accidentally break everything. So we'll see if this helps make it even stickier. So my first cut, I always want to be cutting away from myself. And I need to go slowly. You hear my first cut? So it's kind of hard to see where I cut this away. So I'm going to try this trick of coloring the entire block. It's not great, but I think it will be better than not being able to see what I'm cutting. I'm going to paint it all gently. That does make the cut stand out a little bit more. So there was just sort of like guide it with your finger. So I cut away too much. Not going to be the last time that happens, probably. Got a little excited, Because, I mean, it's easier when you're looking at the line. It's very easy to cut the line, right? So that's definitely what this feels like, is cutting an eraser. It looked like eraser. It definitely feels like eraser as well. Just round off the edge a little bit. I lost some of the detail there, but I'm not really sure how detailed you can really go. Everyone that I've seen online who does this for the first time does the same thing, is sort of unsure where to start. So let's do an outline. I was like, no, I won't do that. I'll start and I'll try inside one of the petals. And then instantly, bam, I'm doing exactly the same thing. I'm outlining the shape. Oh, I went too deep again. I went too close again. So from my understanding, the harder material, so this is like easy cut, but using like actual lino, you get more detail because it's a little bit harder. So you can have a more detailed, slightly more detailed print. So if I do get better at this, I might have to try this flower again because I love this flower, although I'm sure by then I'll have other sketches that I love. Okay, get out of here, you piece of gunk. Ooh, ooh, wait, what? Ooh, too deep, too deep, too deep. Stay back up. So it kind of rips if you go too deep. It was rough. That was rough in there. We're coming back from it, though. We're coming back. Not cutting towards myself, resisting the urge to cut towards myself. Okay, so I switched to the U gouge just to try to clean out some of this area around a little bit faster. It's been about an hour and a half from unboxing to the sketch to this much carving. So far, I'm having a good time. It feels very therapeutic. I've made some mistakes, but I think I chose the right type of first thing to try. Being in natural form, it's okay if it has a little bit of error, it just adds to it. We'll finish this off tomorrow. I finished cutting out my block. I do think after I make a print or two, I am going to have to go back in and refine some of the details because I wasn't sure. And I felt it was better to leave more than cut it away, as I can always cut it away. So I'm going to be rolling the ink here. I'm using this printmaking paper, which came perfectly cut to size. So I didn't have to cut a bunch of sheets. A little bit of the ink. That might have been too much. We will find out. Apparently you roll up and just take a little bit at a time. Just a very small amount of ink, and having to, instead of just going back and forth, to pick it up so that you are covering the entire roll. I do see that we don't have quite full coverage here. I'm gonna try. So same thing, and then we have to go and pick up more ink. So we can already see, or I can already see places where this is picking up ink. They will have to be refined because we don't want those to print. Apparently it's better to put less ink than more. I don't have a brayer, or not a brayer, this is a brayer. I don't have a thing that you like rub it with. One suggests a wooden spoon. I do not have a wooden spoon, so I'm going to see if just rubbing it with my hand might be enough. So holding the paper down with one hand and rubbing with the other. So let's pull the first print and see how it worked. Okay, so that's really cool. It is not perfect, but it's amazing. Look at this. I made this. I quite like it. I do think I need to cut some of these pieces away. Final thoughts. This was great fun. I enjoyed this so much. I cannot wait to try to make another one of these. So this is the final flower that was cut out, which I think is called a relief print. I'm still not quite 100% sure how to use that word. But the kit had everything that I needed. The ink, I was a little worried about how messy this was going to be because it looks so sticky when you're seeing other people use it. And it ended up being a really easy cleanup. A little bit of water, you wipe it, it's clean. It was really, really easy to clean up. The little pieces, I was also worried about that, the cleanup from here. I was just able to sort of collect them as I went. And so that's going to be easy to throw away. The prints experts that I watched before I tried this said the first print, when you first ink it up, doesn't work. I sort of did 2 printings. I was printing, got disrupted, had to print again later, so clean it up, print again later. The first one you do is very light, and then these ones were part of that first printing. So eventually it seemed to get pretty well inked up, but there was definitely some areas that could have done with a little bit more pushing or a little bit more ink. I'm not sure, but still a nice looking image. The second printing there were more prints that worked better. Like the extra little bits in the background, I tried multiple times to get rid of them. I'm not exactly sure how you get rid of it altogether other than cutting closer around the, I guess, stamp. But I kind of like how it looks. It looks like it's hand printed and hand carved. So this one I think is the one that turned out the best of the bunch. The paper that I'm using is from Strathmore. It's 5 by 7 inches printmaking paper, lightweight, which means it's 120 grams per square meter. It worked really nicely. The reason that I purchased it is that on top of learning this, I didn't really want to be cutting out a bunch of paper too, and it was just right beside these blocks. It is just the perfect, absolute perfect size. So it was a little expensive for paper, but I mean, it's still paper. It's not crazy expensive. So yeah, so this one turned out, I think, the best of the bunch. And then just some other prints from that same one didn't quite ink up enough maybe in that area. This one had a lot of background noise or background chatter. I wasn't a big fan of that. This one was nice as well. So these are probably the best prints, but this one is definitely the darkest. And it seems once it gets going, get a little bit more ink on it, and through small layers over and over again. It seemed to work really well. I'm really happy with this purchase. I think for $25, you definitely get a lot. I think if you're interested and you've never tried this before, I think the kit is a really good way to go. The brayer by itself is about like $15 and the ink is just under 10. So I got my kit for, I think it was $26, sort of rounding up. So $26, you can just get these 2 things. So basically we got the 3 cutting tools, the handle for it, and this block sort of in addition to that. So it's definitely a well-priced kit, especially if you're able to find it on sale. I think it's a really good deal. I do maybe see why they're doing that though, because I really enjoyed this. And I think I want to now try other colors and I want to try other shapes and see if that changes how things cut. So it's they're getting you in, getting you hooked on this. Another very fun artistic medium. I hope you got something out of today's video. If you haven't interested in this kit or you're thinking about getting into lino cutting, do it. do it, do it, do it. It's, compared to some things, it's a fairly low cost entry, maybe a holiday present of some kind, because this was great fun. If you like this video, give it a like. If you'd like to see more like this, consider subscribing. I hope you're having a good day. Bye for now. Ta-ta.